Away for the fourth try and has that put Woodlawn in the cup final.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Parramatta Stadium. Great to have you with us for the Commonwealth Bank Cup final of 1990. St Gregory's of Campbelltown going up against St John's Woodlawn up at Lismore. St Greg's trying to make it their 6th win. And that's what they're chasing, the Commonwealth Bank Cup. These young men will play in front of a big crowd tonight. As St Greg's hit the field for the final, Sanderson, Hickey, Chapman, Horan, Ningiga, Bell and Cross make up the back. So Brian Quinn, Boller, Watts, Bushell and Hogan are the forward pack from St Gregory's. The skipper Gavin Bell is a real playmaker at 5'8". Making the big trip down from Lismore. St John's College from Woodlawn. Plenty of nerves for these young men. Asby Palmer at fullback, Lemmy King, Eno, Hurt, the Cumming brothers at half and 5'8". Seeloo, Kelly, Constable, twin brother Lawrence in the front row. Dickonoski and Brown completes the forwards. Chris Kelly, the skipper at St John's, in the second row. Plenty of support from both colleges. St John's supporters setting up their own chant. And some 13 busloads have come from Lismore. Set up their own chant on field too. Very determined young men tonight. Chris Ward, very experienced man, is in charge of this cup final. As we await the kickoff, these players try and settle down to get rid of those nerves I was talking about. But Bill Anderson at St Greg's, the favourites in this cup final.
Very much so, Graham. A real tradition, a history in this competition. I don't know that they'll suffer from nerves anywhere near as badly as St John's. They've never been here before. In 1983 they got to a semi-final. Tonight their chance to make history for their own school.
Chris Ward checks with the skippers. A chance tonight for all you viewers to look at some potential stars of the future. This magnificent Commonwealth Bank Cup competition has provided us with so many good ones already. We're underway in the cup final. The favourites. Woodlawn will try and upset these favourites, St Greg's, early, force them into some errors. Strong defence coming in. Lawrence Seeloo finishing off over the top. And Giga from dummy half.
St Greg's will play a very mechanical, a very methodical game. They'll work from dummy half, they'll power it up in the forwards with a very good kick and chase game. They won't try and play any fancy football till they get in the opposition half. St John's are going to have to weather this forward storm early.
Well, Quinn hitting up. He was one of their best players in their semi-final victory, St Greg's. Now it falls for Craig Pert. Taken by Hickey. Asby Palmer, driven backwards. Nearly 40 out from their own line. Dickonoski across the paddock. He picks up Constable. Tall, rangy second rower. Glenn Cummins. For brother Nick, he picks up Chris Kelly.
You've got an example there of the sort of football that Woodlawn like to play. They like to move the ball. They play a very open game. What they've got to guard against is making mistakes. If they make some mistakes against St Greg's, they're going to be punished for it.
Boyino gets the kick downfield away from Sanderson. Well tackled. Good chasing from Pert. Didn't seemingly play the ball properly. No matter as they bring the ball away. Kane Cross picks up Hogan. 3 defenders on Hogan. Ball left behind. The sort of mistakes one can expect early in a cup final. The pass was just a little behind him.
Yeah, most handling errors are the result of a poor pass, and that was the case there. It just didn't quite find its mark. There's the error and a chance for Woodlawn to get a ball in good attacking position.
Glenn Cummings, I should say. Lawrence Selu. First chance at points on the board, I would think, in this cup final will fall the way of St John's.
There's the reason for it, a hold down in the play of the ball. Woodlawn looking to play the ball quickly, but interfered with in that attempt, and they get a chance in good position. This fellow Boyino should have no problems whatsoever with distance. Very long kicker of the ball. All he's got to do is aim it straight.
This man has produced a try and 39 goals in the Commonwealth Bank Cup for his St John's College. Very casually he wipes the brow, round the corner, strikes it nicely, but it's wide, taken by Sanderson. He does beat the tackle of Constable. Brings it out very confidently. Now this penalty for St Greg's will take away all the pressure. Chris Ward proving that he's going to be consistent throughout. They look for touch sideline tonight in the cup final. Wally Lewis, a good opportunity for rugby league fans to look at these young men of the future.
It certainly is, mate. We've seen a wealth of talent over the last couple of years. Some of the players that have come up through the grades have really gone on to bigger and better things. We've got some of the country's best footballers at the moment, which have been products of this Commonwealth Bank Cup, and I'm sure that we're about to see a few more of them out here tonight. They've already displayed a wealth of enthusiasm for the game. We're just waiting for the skills to be on display.
They're trying to show it now as St Greg's move out towards halfway. And their supporters urging them on. Bell. The defence holds out wide. Quinn. Good back rower. Ball seemed to go a little bit forward. On the last tackle now. Chapman. Didn't worry about any midfield bomb at all. He was happy to grab the territory and then to scrum.
Well, that's the way to finish a good set of 6 tackles. There's an example of the sort of pressure St Greg's can put on you. They got a penalty. They played a very good power set of 6 tackles to get field position. They then belted the ball for the sideline to come up with the scrum. You just can't afford to be off your game at all against them. They're very mechanical, very methodical, a well-drilled outfit.
Let's see if this well-drilled outfit can force the pressure now onto St John's. Kenneth Selu. Good confident ball away for Marcus Brown, but he fumbled. 6 more tackles. It was touched by St Greg's, said Chris Ward. Lawrence Selu bounced out of 1. Troy Diganowski across the paddock. Good stepping from Nick Cummins. He got a good ball away for Lammy to break clear. Great balance run, a good stepping from the young man.
That's a superb run. He had very little room to work in, used the sideline to his advantage, and when confronted by defence, came in field to make sure he wasn't pushed out.
Asby Palmer got the pass away. Andrew King. They've already shown their keenness to spread this ball. Boyino takes 2 tackles, stands, can't unload. It's the last now against St John's, just outside the 22 of St Greg's. Put up by Glenn Cummins. Falling down, confidently taken by Hickey. Good passage of play for St John's. Now St Greg's, the favourites, 10 metres out from their own line. Good driving tackles. Trying to break clear of the danger zone. They'll be forced to kick now. Kane Cross gets the kick in. Sitting up nicely, Craig Pert. So that's what a real good passage of play brings with so much pressure. They come back in possession already inside St Greg's territory. The Cummins brothers decide to go to the back line. Kanasilu was standing wide in the setter's role. Dickonoski, a player who leads the Commonwealth Bank Player of the Series, the Adidas Player of the Series. Chance for him to be $1,000 richer in Adidas product tonight. Nick Cummins wasn't marked. It's on the last. Dickonoski takes the option sideline and takes it very, very well. Kept his cool and created a mile of time for himself.
Dickonoski didn't have many options he could take there. He didn't have any support to work the ball to the sideline on the sixth tackle. He elected he'd have to kick it there. He did that and got good metres for them.
A lot of weight. A scrum win against the feed, so the hooker found touch.
Now that's
then
the sort of
trick.
That's the sort of thing that St Greg's normally do. Get it, push their opposition off the ball when in attacking position. St John's putting it to them at the moment.
Boyino breaks clear, 8 metres out. St Greg's up against their own line now. Dickonoski trying to steal it. Right in front of the post. The skipper, Kelly, goes to dummy half. Asby Palmer makes the extra man. Kanasilu had men left over. If he had have shifted, they would have scored. A cutout pass ended up with nobody. Dickonoski puts it in behind the defence, but there's no chasers. Now there is, and a good tackle forces Sanderson in goal.
If you're going to kick the ball, it's important you tell people. That wasn't the case there, but the chase was superb. The winger came through, made a very strong tackle on Sanderson, who had no opportunity to get the ball back into the field of play.
It's all falling well for St John's College of Woodlawn at the moment. Full of running, Asby Palmer. He joined in a few minutes ago to create an extra man. The try, I thought, went begging. Back they come again, St John's. Kelly unloads for Craig Pert. Glenn Cummins back up the middle, creates a bit of room. He has support outside. He can't keep his balance under all sorts of pressure. St Greg's. Kelly, Nick Cummins, long pass out. Asby Palmer back on the inside. Andrew King unloads. David Lamy goes for the corner, forced out just short. They really do keep this ball alive. And for a second time they stretched St Greg's.
Some wonderful interchange passing by Woodlawn. The ball found its way onto Lamy. He just couldn't force his way over. But let's give some credit to the St Greg's defence. Came across there in big numbers.
Now Kane Cross picks up an easy 10 or 15 metres. Right on their own 22, and just like a cup final should be, Wally Lewis, the favourites under incredible pressure.
Yes, they certainly are. I'm sure everybody's quite surprised at the way the rank outsiders have really put them to the test at the moment, but like true favourites, they're certainly handling that pressure very, very well. They've been stretched quite a few times out wide, but they've handled it pretty well, and I'm sure that we're going to see a lot more of it. But I'm very impressed with the way the Woodlawn boys are throwing the ball around, even though it's a final and one expects the final to be played quite tight in the first 20 to 30 minutes. These blokes aren't scared. They haven't let the opportunity get away from them. The occasion's not too big for them, and they're a very, very entertaining outfit.
Lamy just showed that the way he took that kick. Constable. They are full of confidence. Dickonoski, Kanasilu, very close to a voluntary tackle. Could have been penalised.
This is the fellow who can play the game, young Troy Dickonoski. He plays in the under-18s up in his area. He's a representative player. He's got all the skills that a hooker needs. He can win the ball against the head. He's got a good kicking game, strong defence, and a good mover out of dummy half.
The bounce of the ball again favours St John's College. Scoreline at the moment, 0-0, St Greg's and St John's. St Greg's and St John's in the Commonwealth Bank Cup final. Plenty of ball movement so far. And a chance here for St Greg's to get away. Mingiga with plenty of room to move, support on the inside. The ball went astray. Hickey had come from the other wing to support, but the pass was behind him.
St Greg's able to find extras here out near the sideline. Mingiga, the winger, got a good pass back on the inside. That was to Hickey, who'd come from the other wing to support, and it just couldn't quite find the mark.
Both sides very willing to get it through their back line. Nick Cummins. He broke the tackle, was ordered by Chris Ward to play it. Craig Pert. Upended very heavily by Nathan Boller. Chris Kelly. He takes it to the defensive line. Number of times St John's College have been able to stand amongst the forwards. This time Paul Quinn finishes off the tackle.
Yeah, the feeling I have about them, Bud Graham, is they're always working for the next play. They seem to be working to a point on the field for a backline spread. I think if they gave a little bit more support to each play the ball, they would find they could pop the ball away.
Great play from Glenn Cummins. He saw that there was nobody back. It was a desperate tackle that brought him undone in the end. Dickonowski to the end goal. That'll stay there. Kane crosses back. He'll try and get out. He does it well. So plenty of skills from both sides. Chapman goes to dummy half to try and ease the workload for his forwards. Strong running from O'Brien. Quinn. I mentioned how well he played in the semi-final. He needs some support players. Bell. They've created the overlap again. He couldn't get the ball out wide. It's on the last. Cross. He tries to do what his opposite managed just a few moments ago. A good chasing from Kelly. Silu, head down. To Canterbury stars David Gillespie and Paul Langmack. Look on in this Commonwealth Bank Cup final. Langmack, one of the former great stars of this competition.
Yes, here it is again, an opportunity hit for a quick play of the ball, not allowed to do so by St Greg's, and Chris Ward right on the spot to adjudicate on it.
They fine touch. I mentioned Paul Langmack. He was a previous player of the year back in 1982. Kenneth Silu. 32 out St John's. Glenn Cummins.
Yeah, St John's just a little bit scarce of a runner here at the moment. You know, they've had their backs to the wall and done a lot of defending, and their forwards don't seem to be doing the hard work.
Boyino. Asby Palmer is up in the front line again. Skipper Kelly takes it to the line.
Yeah, that's more like it. They need a lot more of that running up the centre of the rucks to give their back line some space.
Kenneth Silu standing wide again. One more tackle. What can they produce? They want a field goal, but they can't get on the scoreboard in this cup final. It is wide and back to the 22 for the restart.
I suppose you've got to take 1 point when it's on offering in what's likely to be a close game, and the opportunity there for St John's just wide of the posts.
Already, this cup final, most of the first half being played down St Greg's end of the field.
Yet funny enough, Graham, I've still got the feeling that St Greg's are doing it reasonably comfortably. Their defence is held. They've played out a lot of set of 6 tackles. They've been the ones that St John's have been making all the running, and yet St Greg's just, to me, they seem to be more complete in their game. They've got better formation.
Penalty comes St Greg's way. I was about to say, Bill, how often do you see it where somebody weathers so much pressure and then they still can come back very quickly and produce the try?
Well, they're going to have a chance after this. Chris Ward giving a penalty to St Greg's for yet another hole down in the play of the ball, and they're going to be in good position now. That's in fact the 4th penalty for players being held down in the ruck.
Australian schoolboys, Tim Horan finds touch.
Now this will be the real test for St John's. If they can weather this, they're in the game.
Hogan hits up strongly. Cross. Run around with Bush or Quinn again. This time he does unload. Now there's some numbers here for St. Greg's. Boller with men outside. He couldn't get it away. Chapman. Stepping under 1. 9 metres out. He's clear. Chapman can't beat the last tackle of Glenn Cummins, who was there in cover. Cross. Bell. The defence was up very quickly. O'Brien. Cross. Horan. Quinn. They lose it. So does St. John's. He's going to play a knock-on. Originally, I think he's going to play it against St. Gregory's.
Well, here's the knock-on. You can see the original knock-on just there. Then St. John's, in their efforts to pick it up, knocked it on also. Now, this is where St. Greg's are going to exert some pressure in this scrum. In their semi-final, they won 4 against the head, right in this position. Look for the big push here.
It's coming now. The scrum has collapsed, but it comes out for St. Gregory's. Cross on the blind side, gets there. The scrum screwed, it collapsed. Bell said they were going to come up with the push, put that down to the forwards who produced a try. Cross got a good ball quickly out of that scrum. They were skinny on the blind side. His momentum got him there, I think.
There it is, a superb push by the forwards. The forwards doing all of the hard work and giving the halfback the opportunity. He did have a lot of space down the short side to work in. The fullback coming across far too late. Tackle just short of the line and momentum gets him across.
Here's the mistake also coming here from the Woodlawn halfback, Glenn Cummings, Bill, who followed the ball around the open side and left Kane Cross all open to himself. And really, when he gets an opportunity that short to the line, he's not going to miss him.
So Kane Cross gets St. Greg's on the board, gets some points rolling in this cup final. Damien Chapman. Strikes it very well. Great goal from Chapman to turn the 4 into St. 6. St. Greg's leads 6 points to 0 over St. John's. St. Greg's lead in the cup final, 6 points to 0. They did it so well. Sanderson. Wally, I guess that's why they're favourites. They soaked it all up, then came back strongly.
Well, that's right. You made the comment just a few minutes ago, Graham. So often we see in a game of football where all the pressure is soaked up by a team. It really does a lot for them confidence-wise, and that's probably only the second time in the match where they've been inside to St. John's Woodlawn's half of the field, and they've converted a couple of tackles into 6 points, and I'm sure that their coach and the players would all be feeling very contented with their efforts so far.
Now they come back 40 out. Chapman. Got a ball back for Quinn.
The problem Woodlawn are having, in spite of their efforts to slow down the play of the ball, you can see them doing that, just exactly that here, they're still not getting their defensive line set quickly enough. The ball's on the move for St. Greg's, and the Woodlawn line still isn't coming up.
Now St. Greg's are claiming that ball was charged down. It was caught by Boller.
But we're going to have a good look at it. Here it is here. There's the kick into the back of, I thought it was one of the Woodlawn players' hand, which would have been play on. It was one of those touch and go situations.
Well, he certainly seemed to put the hand up, one of the St. John's players. It might just be the break that St. John's were needing, though. You've got 2 balls. Play underway again, Boyino.
Well, once again,
Upended.
There's an example of that backline movement, that ball movement that St. John's like to display, but I don't know that they'll win this game with that sort of football. I think their forwards need to work harder in the centre of the rucks, get some yardage, give their backs some space before they start to look to push the ball wide.
Well, it's trying to use forwards wide. Canacilo has been wide. Marcus Brown was wide in that movement. Now it's left for Glenn Cummings to take it up the middle. Brother Nick with the chip in behind the defence. It's there for Ningiga. Dangerously, that ball bounced away from Ningiga. Now he finds himself clear.
And once again, if you're going to kick the ball, you've got to tell people. No one in Woodlawn was alert to that kick.
Sanderson hit strongly by Lawrence Silu. Quinn. O'Brien went without it. Just near the halfway line, St John's. Nikonowski was looking for runners. Finds a gap up the middle. Glenn Cummings, Nick Cummings. Boyino out for King.
See, that's all that is catching and passing and no one running. You know, it looks nice with the ball going along the back line, but you're not going to get through this defence that way. They're going to need someone out wide to threaten the line, someone to take them on and hit a gap.
On the last tackle, Nikonowski running Sanderson around into his own in goal. Beats the tackle of Glenn Cummings, finished off by Constable. Cross. This halfback covers a lot of territory, Bill.
Yeah, he does a lot of work, doesn't he? He's not only an electric player himself and a good organiser, but if they're in trouble, he's prepared to get in and do some hard yakka as well.
He'll stay down for some treatment as play continues. Took a solid tackle. The Silu twins still receiving treatment. Bell. Just outside their 22. Strong running from Mark Hogan.
And this defensive line for Woodlawn has got to start to go up and meet the attack. At the moment, they're waiting.
They came out on fire, St John's. Now they've got to produce something. Asby Palmer. Chased to crossfield by Horan. Finally finished off by Boller. Lammy. He's already made a couple of fine runs.
They're very powerful runs. They're good, strong thrusts, but we need the forwards in there, just like this, doing the same thing.
Kelly. Down the blind side, he finds support in Canacilo. Nikonowski. Nick Cummins. Boyino. He will unload up the middle. There was a gap there if the pass had been good. Kelly tries to take it now, but it was a little bit too late. Ian Roberts and Graham Lowe looking on this Commonwealth Bank Cup final night. Canacilo. Good ball back inside. Constable. Stepping past Boller, trying to get the ball back. Scooped up nicely. Silu put a kick in, falls into the arms of Pert, to the corner, back in for King. A remarkable try. Talk about luck, but they were good enough. Out wide to snap it. Oh, great take and play from Pert and Andrew King. Try number 14 for him in the cup final. He scored 13 tries in this series. Just watch the way they keep it alive. Asby Palmer got it back for Nick Cummins. Threw it out. Now Constable stands. He gets the ball back. Scooped up by skipper Chris Kelly. Lawrence Silu was looking for touch. It hit Ningiga up into the arms of Pert. A great ball back for Andrew King, who realised it was on. Great support from the centre.
It sure was. I suppose if you keep the football alive for long enough, eventually you're going to find a hole. Now, this was on the last tackle. Woodlawn struggling to find a space. They couldn't find a hole in the St Greg's defence. They kept stretching it from one side of the field back to the other, but here they got a critical ball away. That had the defence at 6s and 7s. The ball was kicked. Pert was right on the spot, took the ball, had to beat a tackle, got the ball back inside to the number 3, Andrew King, who was backing up superbly, and a just reward there, a 4-pointer.
Andrew King. They Snapper young man who gets them right back into it. Unfortunately, the kick from Boyino was unsuccessful.
Well, nerves gets to all of us. I saw Boyino in a game, Graham, kick something like 10 out of 10 from all parts of the field, and that was in a critical game. There's our scoreline, 6 points to 4 in favour of St Greg's.
They needed the try desperately. After putting so much into their attacking game. We're about 3 minutes away from half-time. Dickonowski across the paddock. Horan is there. Got support with Sanderson.
Let him knock down.
It's certainly going to put a lot on the minds of this cup final favourites, St Greg's. Quinn. It is still a danger time, though, a couple of minutes out from half-time. You've just scored a try, you can't relax. Watts. .32 out from St John's line. They're standing very wide, St Greg's. Chapman couldn't get started. A little bit of singing from the supporters who have come from Lismore. Woodlawn is the chant. Ball going dead in goal, so they should finish in possession. Before this break, they come back to the 22 inside 2 minutes. St Greg's camp a little quiet. Kelly really does run strongly.
Yeah, he's a powerful forward. He leads by example. He just needs his other 5 forwards to do what he's doing. Nothing fancy, just keep hitting that line and hitting it hard. If you make enough dents, eventually you'll find a hole.
There will be a number of major rugby league executives looking on in this cup final and impressed with plenty of these players. Sanderson. Craig Pert is driving Sanderson across the field. Brett Kenny, suitably impressed with this cup final. Slipping. Is he trying to get out of the 22? Quinn. About 30 seconds to go. Bell. Trying to finish this first half on a major statement. They're on their 6th. Cross. Just going as deep as he can. Straight into the arms of David Lemmy. He's taken outside his 22. About 1 tackle remaining in this first half. They'll get another. Just. There's the siren to end an impressive start to this Commonwealth Bank Cup final of 1990. St Greg's will go at the break. They're only 2 clear. 6 points to 4 over St John's. In the Commonwealth Bank Cup final of 1990, and a great one so far in the first half. And a welcome to Mrs. Seeloo. She's there in the denim jacket in the pink, all the way from a little village called Badilli, just outside of Port Moresby. She's here to try and watch her twin sons produce a win in the cup final. They're only just behind by 2 points, and Greg's leads 6 points to 4. And only the second half remaining for these young men to produce a win in the cup final. St John's, the underdogs, going into this match. They produced a great display in the first half, showing plenty of determination. They're not worried about the reputation of this St Greg's outfit. 5 times St Greg's have won the cup final. They're looking for their 6th.
I think this first 10 minutes will tell the story for St John's. If they can hang on in this part of the game, not make mistakes, and then look at that scoreboard and realise they're in touch, there's only some 20 minutes to go, they've got to be a chance. But St Greg's will throw everything at them in the opening minutes of this second half. They've done it in every game they've played this year.
Some great support in the Commonwealth Bank Cup this year, provided by Adidas and NEC. In fact, NEC will provide $5,000 worth of product to the winning school in the cup final, $3,000 to the runners-up. And Adidas the $1,000 worth of product to the Player of the Year. Now, thanks to them for their wonderful support. Quinn runs with Ningiga. O'Brien. Cross. Picked up well by Chapman. Hickey comes off his wing. Last tackle. That pass looked forward to Bell from Cross. He managed a good ball away for Bushell. Boller gets it out to Ningiga. Chance for St Greg's back on the inside. It was touched. And knocked back by St John's. A metre out from their own line.
There you have an example of the sort of pressure that St Greg's can exert. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They're a very alert football team. They can recognise if there are opportunities out wide, push the ball very quickly. They've got good fundamentals and get it to that area. As I said a few moments ago, St John's have got to hang on in this part of the game to keep their confidence up.
Not trying to hang on was Kelly, who nearly busted the line. Nick Cummins right on his own 22. Down for Horan, who was out on the wing. Beats the tackle of Glenn Cummins. Strong run right up the middle to turn St John's around very quickly.
That's the break that St Greg's were looking for.
Chapman out of there. Out of there with great pace too. Still going, Chapman. 3 tacklers clinging to him. St Greg's looking for an early try in the second half. Cross. He picked up the first. 6 metres away. Watts turns in the tackle, thinking of unloading. Bell, Hickey, Sanderson goes infield. Sanderson would have scored if he hadn't slipped the pass. Bell from dummy half, stretches, no try. The whistle had gone just before he tried to stretch out too, I thought.
He could see the line. It was oh so close. He could smell it, but he just couldn't get the ball over it.
That's called desperation, and this is why it's a cup final. St John's bring it away.
See one of the big differences between St John's forwards when they hit the line and St Greg's. St John's are taking the ball 2 and 3 metres back, which means they've got to run a couple of metres before they're going forward. St Greg's take that line ball pass right on the advantage line.
I was going to say that Kelly again looked like he nearly got through, but it was a bad pass from the skipper back in. 6 more tackles. Messi played the ball, penalty to St Greg's. That won't disappoint their supporters. A chance at goal. 2 points on offer here. Chapman signals he wants to go for them.
Yeah, I don't know that was such a bad thing for St John's Woodlawn with that incurring that penalty there. I thought they were under all sorts of pressure. St Greg's really threatening. At least now, even though they might get 2 points scored against them, they've got some breathing space.
Damien Chapman, successful from right out with his first kick. He is only 3 points away from St John's hooker Troy Dickinowski in the Adidas Player of the Year. If he picks up a 3-pointer tonight, he can tie and bill the person who polls the most points in the final.
Exactly. In case of 2 players finishing level, the player who polls most points on Cup final night is deemed the winner.
Chapman, son of a famous dad from the St George Club, Johnny Chapman. Just outside the 22. It's a goal. They stretch their lead. St Greg's now go to an 8-forward lead over St John's. Very competent man at kicking. He strikes them so sweetly. And he shows by that kick that he could certainly land them from a long way out. Sanderson. He makes it to the 22. What would you have had to have said to St Greg's at halftime, Wally?
Well, I think their coach really said it before the game. Graham. I was listening to just what he was trying to inspire them with before the game. He was just saying to them that they should go out there and play the games, this game, as they have the ones in the past. Just go out and enjoy it. If they find themselves under a little bit of pressure, just regroup, start talking to each other, and treat each other as friends. And that's exactly how they seemed to play that first half, even when they were under a bit of pressure in that first 10 or 15 minutes. As you see, a great break made here by Horan.
Horan down the touchline. He keeps his composure and balance. Got a ball in for Sanderson. It was knocked back. They're still under pressure, St John's. There's one tackle left. I think they'll try and spin it wide here. They've got big numbers. Chapman. Bell. Bell looking to get wide. Did that float forward? It didn't. Ningiga for the corner. Does he have the pace? No. Great cover. Great cover by St John's.
This is outstanding cover defence. There wasn't just one player there coming across to tidy it up. There were 3 or 4 to get him over the touchline.
And Kelly, the skipper, says to his side, let's go back downfield. We talked about the territory that Kane Cross covers for St Greg's, likewise for the number 7, Glenn Cummins from St John's. Now there's no runner. This is where they've gone to sleep a couple of times in the first half, St John's.
They're just not getting that link between half and 5'8", and to my mind, they're far too deep in the back line. You don't have to be that deep. You don't have to lose 30 and 40 metres to try and hit the ball out wide.
Diganowski looking for the sideline. There's not a great deal of chasing. Diganowski had to do all the work on his own kick. Looking a little bit tired at the moment, St John's. That's a good solid tackle from Lawrence Selu. O'Brien. Big night of rugby league on 10. Stay with us. Do or die tonight in this and Friday night football. Manly trying to cement a semi-final berth against Parramatta. That will follow right after this cup final. Hickey, quick hands for Horan. Again down this touch. Infield. Bell is there with Horan. Asby Palmer went up way too early. Falls for Bell. It's still the last tackle. It wasn't touched. But once more they seem to have an overlap out wide. Chapman. He sets up a midfield bomb. This is going to fall for Pert. He shows a lot of confidence underneath that one.
2 bombs in a row. You don't often see that, but that was taken beautifully by Pert. He never took his eye off the ball at any stage. That's right out of the textbook.
Both their wingers have shown plenty of ability so far in this match. Greg Alexander.
1983 Player of the Year.
They're all here tonight on the cup final. Diganowski. This time he didn't kick. A little bit of variation. That's not so good to Hickey. He's got Chapman. Lammy had to come in. Now he unloads a good pass for Horan. And great cover from Chris Kelly. St Greg's are trying to go into top gear. Bushell.
They need to force a mistake here, St John's. They're under all sorts of siege. They've got to force an error, and they'll only do that with some tough tackling defence.
Bowler. Up the middle, 10 metres out. Quinn. Up the middle for the long second rower. I was going to say he'd only have to fall from there. He's a danger man. They stood back and waited, and he scored next to the post. There was plenty of room for him. He wrong-footed the first defender, came off the other foot to show how well he can step. He beat the tackle of Brown and got there right next to the post.
Yeah, a big man that can step through the centre of the rucks is always tough to hold. Have a look at this. Here he comes on the fly, steps off the right foot, gets in behind the defensive line and stretches out for the 4-pointer.
Paul Quinn has really put it to St John's now. Chapman with a 100% record. Now he's right next to the Timbers. John's heeding some advice about how they climb into the cup final again. For the second time now they've got to do it. The instructions have gone out from Kim Evans. Mouth guard out and all. Damien Chapman. He maintains that record as St Greg's now go to a 14-4 lead over St John's. St Greg's lead by 10 with about 18 minutes left in the Commonwealth Bank Cup final. There's been a change made in the St Greg's side. Gary McDonald is out there. Boller. He's replaced Mark Hogan. O'Brien. Hogan's gone sideline. Watts. The machine seems to be starting.
Yes, they're very methodical, aren't they? They work from dummy half, they hit the advantage line, and when they've got a chance, they get a forward wide, make the extra man, can offload in tackles. They play very simple, basic football, but they do it so well, St Greg's.
Chapman right on halfway on the last tackle. Bad ball there. Lack of concentration from St Greg's right at the death. It'll be a handover. Dickonowski. Again, they seem to be lacking some support runners in the forwards.
Yeah, just finding it hard to find a runner to belt the ball up for them. They don't need anything fancy from here. All they need is someone to keep taking them forward, get St Greg's going backward. At the moment, this St Greg's defence is all revved up and driving St John's back in tackles. They've got to play the ball quickly and just keep forcing them back until they've got a bit of space.
Lammy.
That's more like it.
It took the winger to come infield to do it.
This back line, Graham, it's too deep. You know, we like a nice deep back line, but you can be too deep.
Bounce of the ball again. Little chip from Boyino, Andrew King. Nearly got away. Last tackle. Long pass out. Off the hands of Silo and straight into Horan. There was a chance gone. Now I thought Horan lost that ball in the tackle. Chris Ward didn't see it.
Well, this pass was long enough, wasn't it? Right over the top to a player who was in a hole. A little bit of misfortune there for St John's. I thought they had a great try-scoring chance.
Quinn, the star of this pack for St Greg's. Watts.
And there's that relentless go forward of St Gregory's again. They just never stop.
Knock on. Just what St John's need. They need some more possession.
St Greg's looking here to fan the ball out wide. That pass a little bit in front of the receiver, and he probably had his mind on the pass rather than the catch.
Nick Cummins, Boyino. Certainly big enough.
Yes, he's big enough. He's Olsen Filipana-like, isn't he? He needs to take the defence on a little bit more at the moment. He just seems to be sitting down in tackles and prepared to accept it. I think he's got to get deep, wind up, come onto the ball and cart 2 or 3 defenders with him.
Glenn Cummins, Nick Cummins.
Yeah, they're just losing ground doing this.
Plenty of catching and passing, a little knock on in there. A change being made in the St John's side. Mark Nassif is on for Marcus Brown. So 2 front rowers off. Scrum screws, still falls for Kane Cross. Well, he's slowly to his feet. Horan. Interesting to see his change to the wing. McDonald. Cross. Bell. O'Brien, a decoy runner for Chapman. Hickey, great passing through the back line. Classic rugby league. Ningiga couldn't get it back inside. He's taken over the touchline. That's the sort of backline play that St John's are looking for.
Yes, it's not as deep as the St John's backline. They play a little bit flatter and get the ball quickly to where they need it. Ningiga showed nice footwork there, stayed alive, but didn't have the support on the inside to help.
In fact, that's Pert that's come off his wing. I was going to say it was Asby Palmer. Good defence. Kanasilu. Just can't seem to make a dent in the forwards. Off the side of the boot from Dickonoski, but it's going to be good enough. He was looking to go deeper, but he gets it out near halfway.
It's a good kick, this one, in behind the defensive line. He never had a lot of space to work in, but I've just got the feeling that the chase isn't as good as it should be. There's no pressure on St Greg's when St John's do put a kick in.
Well, that scrum collapsed on top of Cross. He ended up going inside the scrum looking for it. He took it in the tunnel.
Yeah, I think Chris Ward ruled there that the ball had come out and then the scrum went down on top of him rather than him dive in for it.
Quinn. A runner outside of him would have been away for a long way. Bell. Meters out, one more tackle. It'll be the handover for St John's.
Just as in the first half, most of the play now is being centred up this end of the field. In the first stanza, it was St John's applying pressure but not able to get the ball across the line. But now it's St Greg's, and they're putting all the pressure on St John's, who just can't get the ball out of this danger zone.
They're still inside their 22. Nassif plays it back. Glenn Cummins, he hasn't stopped trying all night long.
Now this is okay. There's nothing wrong with kicking the ball when you're in trouble, but you need a good chase as well. The kick's is only as good as the chase.
And the kick was put in by Dickonoski, and he made the tackle. Sanderson. Bushell a dummy half. Cross. Out wide for O'Brien. He and Quinn like to stand on the fringe of the ruck. Well, he never got to his feet to play it. Easily could have been penalised. Chapman. Some desperate times for this St John's side. Hickey. Will go down to the last once more. Cross. Bell. A little chip out wide for Horan. Asby Palmer didn't know where it is. It's a try. It is a try. An awful mess in the in goal. The little chip. And Asby Palmer fumbled it. And a try as a result. Bell saw that he was back in his in goal. This did need some good chasing. Look for Horan. Look for Bell and Cross to be there. He had plenty of time. He could have just forced it. He didn't know where it was. I think Bell got the try. Yeah, the dilemma he had here was if I force the ball, it's going to be a line dropout, and we're under pressure already. I've got to try and pick it up and get it back into the field of play. In trying to do that, he lost it totally, and 4 points is the result. The skipper gets on the board. On a side that really is flowing now. Damien Chapman from out wide to try and make it 4 from 4. There's his angle from out near touch. Well, they did it in the first half, but they just haven't been able to get a real roll on it as far as possession is concerned in the second. Beautiful night at the Parramatta Stadium. Perfect conditions. This time the mouthguard stays in. He struck it pretty well, but just wide. The scoreline in the Commonwealth Bank Cup final favours St Gregory's 18 points to 4. 14 points have got to be made up by St John's in about 10 minutes. Too difficult against the favourites, who have played strongly in this second half, Wally.
Yes, I think so, Graham. They're looking demoralised, and the confidence that the boys from St Gregory's have got at the moment is just impossible to overcome. They seem to be really going to sleep in that last 10 minutes. I noticed just where all the breaks are being made now against the boys in green is round about that marker area where they seem to have just gone to sleep. They were working very well from that area early in the match. Their enthusiasm level was high, but already we've seen just 4 rucks in this set of 6, and the boys, the champions, have made 50 to almost 60 metres, and with a kick, I'm sure that's going to make it a long, long way to the try line for the St John flags.
Well, they're not finished with on this 6 yet, Wally. Chapman stepping beautifully. He's got an in-gigger outside. He'll unload for him. He slips. And St John's just managed to hang on, but there's still time and tackles left here. Cross, Bell, switching them and running them from one side to the other. Horan's got Sanderson for the corner. Great covering tackle from Lemmy. Great tackle. Some wonderful attack and defence.
This is how you play rugby league. You move the ball to spaces on one side, and if your hands are good enough, you get it back to a space on the other side of the field. Superb play by St Gregory's.
Saw Simon Daniel out there in 16 for St John's. Penalty to St John's. Not facing. Square on in the front row. They only get outside their 22. They'll be looking for some workers in the forwards here. Time running out, they need some tries. Daniel has lost it. This will set up a scrum for St Greg's. Looking for another try.
They've been relentless, haven't they, both with the ball and without it.
Hickey, taken by Lemmy, who's moved into the centres as well for St John's. Chapman. He loses it back. Touched by St John's, 6 more. Just what they didn't need. Ngiga. He's gotten close once. Shows a lot of fight in the tackle. Boller. Their forwards have been full of running in the second half of the cup final. Bell. Little short ball for Cross. Out through the hands of Chapman, who would have scored, but he couldn't handle it. Who've impressed you most, Bill?
Well, it's hard to draw individuals in a game like this, particularly the way St Gregory's play, Graham, because it's a team effort where everyone's got a little job to do that the coaches assign them, and they carry out that task to perfection. But it'd be hard not to like the 2 Australian representatives, Australian schoolboys. That's young Horan out in the centres and also Quinn in the forwards. I think they've played superbly, as has Kane Cross. And on the other team, I do like the looks of the halfback, Glenn Cummins, and the hooker, Troy Dickonoski.
They've certainly tried hard all night. And here's one of the best, Quinn. Cross. Watts. Cross again. Brings in McDonald. The defence standing back now. A tired defence from St John's. Glenn Cummins.
Lawrence! Lawrence!
Wally, what about you in this cup final as far as men, as far as the grade ranks are concerned next year?
Well, there's going to be a few guys in each team that are going to put a little bit of pressure on, and I'm sure, as was mentioned before, there'll be a few club secretaries in the crowd here suitably impressed with some of the players. I've got to agree with Bill there. Dickonowski's game, well, it's not hard to see who he models his game on. He looks like Benny Elias all over again. He's got a very good kicking game. He's very good from marker. But one of the guys I've been most impressed with is the winger for Woodlawn, David Lammy. He's a guy that's worked hard all night. His defence has been tremendous. He's just moved all over the track. He seems to have class written all over him. And their second rower and captain, Chris Kelly, I thought he's worked very, very hard with them for the side without a lot of support. For the Campbelltown boys, well, they seem to share the workload around, but as was mentioned, they're Australian representatives. It's very hard to go past them. And Quinn, the second rower, he really does a lot of work as well. But their second rower, his second rower partner, Nathan Boller, I thought he's a guy that seems to work fairly hard as well without getting a lot of raps.
There's certainly been some good ones here. Now Sanderson, just watch here as his head really does crash into the Parramatta Stadium turf. There's no time off for injury in this cup final. Out there in 15 is Stephen Miller for St John's. A couple of people getting an experience in this cup final in the last couple of minutes. Scott McGurran for St Gregory's. Sanderson will head for the headbin. There's no rush for the young man as the trainers come in to assist. Boller. The back row have been very strong. Bell on a run around for Quinn. Great tackle from Kelly. That certainly hurt Quinn. O'Brien. They're only a couple of minutes away from their 6th win in the Commonwealth Bank Cup. St Greg's, one of the most famous teams in cup history, and they've provided some great names to the ranks of Australian Rugby League. Another replacement, Scott Fletcher, out there for St Greg's. And there's no doubt that some of these men, maybe inside of 12 months, we'll be starting to look at them.
That was the case last year, Graham. On this very night, Jason Taylor, our player of the year, finished up in Western Suburbs first grade.
Glenn Cummins still showing that there's fight left in him. Moino. Maybe a little too less and far too late. Dickonowski. Touched by St Greg's, but falls well for them. Ngiga. Strong run as we go inside the last 60 seconds. There will be a real roar here at the stadium from the St Greg's fans as they add another title. Now, thanks to so many people in this Commonwealth Bank Cup series, to Ray O'Donnell, our referee's appointments and official statistician, to John Coates from the bank for all his help. Now Quinn back in field for Kane Cross. They might even want to finish with a try here, the favourites. Horan. Once more it goes to the in goal. Asby Palmer is there. This time he got out of there. They try and force him back. The crowd will count down the final few seconds. The siren tells us that St Gregory's of Campbelltown are the Commonwealth Bank Cup champions of 1990. They did it in great style after going through a tough first half. Peter Mulholland, a happy coach. His players celebrate after a long series this year where they've displayed so much great talent. It augurs well for the future of the game of rugby league. Bell, shoulder high, the skipper from St Greg's. The school has turned out in big numbers here. Now the coach gets a free ride. It was a super performance from them. Very strong second half, Bill.
Yes, they're just such a powerful side. They've got replacements who are almost as good as the players who take the field for them. They've got every area covered, and normally in schoolboy football you'll find that there are 1 or 2 slots where, you know, someone isn't quite up to the, you know, top quality. But that isn't the case with St Greg's. You know, they live and breathe football out at that school, and that was the case here tonight. They just showed that they were a superb, well-drilled rugby league outfit.
Both sides exchanging handshakes. But Holland scores, calls his side in.
Take this in and enjoy it, eh? Suck it all up. Take every second of it.
Here with the coach.
It's your night. Have a look
And tell them to enjoy these last few minutes of the cup final. St John's go across to thank their supporters who have made the great trip down from Lismore. St Greg's, the winners, go across to their school. And a big crowd here for the cup final at the Parramatta Stadium. Marvellous moments for them. They go into their school war cry. They'll come back for the presentation of the Commonwealth Bank Cup final. Some tired men. 18-4 St Greg's over St John's. They only led by 6-4 at half-time. And after seeing some of the skills here tonight, I wonder if we found another Ben Elias, a Paul Langmack, a Greg Alexander. So many great players. Jason Taylor would have come through. Paul Quinn picked up 3 points tonight. Kane Cross got 2 and Dickonoski got 1, which means Troy Dickonoski from St John's is the Adidas Player of the Year. $1,000 worth of product playing in leisure wear. Goes to this young man who tried his heart out and has had a great series. Congratulations to him. Disappointment on the receiving end tonight, but it wasn't because of his efforts. And the presentations tonight to be made. John Quayle is down there, the general manager of the New South Wales Rugby League. They've won the Commonwealth Bank Cup. They'll receive the trophy itself from Alan Colwell, the senior manager advertising and promotional services from the Commonwealth Bank Cup, from the Commonwealth Bank, I should say. And Gavin Bell receiving that now from Alan Colwell.
Around the other side. No, around here. That's it.
Gavin Bell holds the cup aloft. Because of St Greg's of the winning school. Paul Quinn joins in with his skipper. Ken Thompson from NEC's there. Of course, they received $5,000 from NEC worth of product. Great performance by St Greg's to become the Commonwealth Bank Cup champions of 1990. The 6th time they've won the title. Still more to come, of course, as we see these boys celebrate. Manly, do or die tonight going up against Parramatta. Trust you've enjoyed this cup final. Stay with us on 10 right after this Nissan Friday Night Football. The Sea Eagles up against the Eels.